This is the last time I'll get up here. I don't have any speaking notes this time, so y'all can time me if you want. It's probably going to be just a few minutes because this water really is cold, like everyone's been saying. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to say here, what my last comments were going to be to the outfit, to the parents, to all the guests here, I was really struggling because I was talking to my dad this afternoon and I was like, well, it's really, really hard to sum up 4 years, 4 of the best and hardest years of my life in a few minutes. But I want to do my very, very best. I really want everyone to understand the caliber of people that are sitting around you right now. The type of people that you have on the squad. Never, ever in your life are you going to be around people as incredible and as awesome as you are in the Corps. Now there'll be times in the military, the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine, whatever it is, that you get some really great people around you. Some other great lieutenant buddies, other company commanders maybe at that time. But you're never going to gather the people that we have here in the Corps. And that is such a blessing. That is such an incredible blessing. That's easily going to be the hardest thing about leaving the Corps, is not having my buddies. And as a commander, as a unit commander, it's really hard to explain how you feel about your subordinates, how you feel about your buddies, and what they really mean to you. Really the only way I can relate it is like a father to his children. And that type of love, because it's really an incredible privilege to be able to serve all of you out here. And I know Russell's going to do an incredible job next year. He's going to be a very great fatherly figure in all the other lives. But just understand that your upperclassmen and all of your buddies and everything are great, great people, and they will do great things for this Corps. Outside of Squadron 16. For those of us in the senior class and then junior class as well, there are many of us involved in other organizations on the quad, and we've been able to develop that respect, been able to develop that influence over other people, and that's been such an opportunity. Because Squadron 16 is awesome. We're one of 36 outfits in the Corps, and there are some great people out there. So if you have those opportunities to go out and make a difference, take those opportunities. Don't just sit around and wait for opportunity to get to you. If you have a challenge ahead of you, go for it. I told myself at the end of my freshman year, my goal was to make my life busier and busier and harder every year I went through the Corps. And you can ask my buddies, you can ask a lot of other people that I definitely succeeded in that. My sleep went down, my workload went up, my stress went up. I actually got my first gray hair here on my eyebrows. So I guess I succeeded in my goal then. But take those challenges. The Corps isn't supposed to be easy. This is why I tell people, if the Corps was easy, if everyone did the perfect thing all the time, always had their polished shoes, went out to formation right on time, no one ever slept through PT, white belts, everyone made A's on all their tests and everything, then what would the Corps be? The Corps would just be this fun little organization. The Corps is a leadership development process. And when things go wrong, when times are hard, that is what the Corps is about. That's what the Corps really teaches you. It's when it's 1, 2 in the morning, you get a text message from somebody saying, hey, I need you to call such and such. And I'm like, well, they're asleep. And I'm like, well, we need to talk to them. And all these things going on. That's when you get developed as a leader. I talked earlier about the ability to handle stress. Understand that when you get out of the Corps, or when you become a lieutenant, whatever you're going to do afterwards, that stress doesn't just go away. That's something that's one of the challenges that life presents. This is your training for life. Take every opportunity you can to develop yourself now. Because when you're in a real job, when you're a platoon leader, when you're a flight commander, when you're out in the real world outside of the Corps, sometimes you might not get a second chance. So challenge yourself now. Make those mistakes now. Because this is the place to do it. This is absolutely the place to do it. Because you have all the resources in the world. Whether it's your military advisor, whether it's your upperclassmen, whether it's your subordinates. They're all here and they can develop you. But you have to be open to it, you have to be willing. I want to go back to a few more things, and then I'm going to be done because I can't do my hand at all. But I'm going to use the same quote that me and Russell already used. Leadership is service, and service is a privilege. Everyone in here is a leader in some way. If you're a fish and you're thinking, oh, well, I didn't do well and got on candidacy, or I didn't even make the best grades, You have influence over people, and next year you will be leading people. It means you're a leader. That is a service to those people, and service to this core, our core, and it's a privilege. Never ever forget that. Never forget the opportunities that you have is a privilege. There are tons of people out in this world that wish they could go through what we go through. They wish they could get up and PT with us at 5:30 in the morning, go to formation, go to classes throughout the day, wear this uniform, wear it proud. There are many people that wish they could do that. So never ever forget what kind of privilege this is. Also, this is what I told that leadership conference that I spoke at just a little bit ago. People don't care how little sleep you get. People don't care how many challenges you have. If I'm moving through the day and I have 2 hours of sleep and I'm feeling sorry for myself, not being that example that I'm supposed to be, it's still wrong on me. You don't get any handicap. It's not like okay, well, your shoes don't have to be polished, you don't have to shave because you only slept for an hour last night. No one cares. As a leader, everyone is going to look to you, probably at the most obscure times, to be an example to them. So whenever that is, maybe that is 3 in the morning. Where's Scott Thrower and David Lee? Scott and David and I, we've got quite this bond. I go in there and bother them usually at 2 or 3 in the morning when we're all still up doing things. And we've got a bond, quite a lot with that. But if I'm completely out of character, and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, I'm not acting the way I'm supposed to, it's not like they'll be, okay, that's fine. That's whatever. There will be that, okay, that's a new standard. Understand, this is something that Colonel Betty, our deputy commandant, says. If I let a freshman walk past me on the quad and not salute me, then I've set a new standard for the Corps of Cadets, saying that it's okay not to salute commissioned officers. Don't let things go. Don't let things slide. That's how the Corps tumbles into oblivion. That's how our Corps would die if we let those things slide. Take every opportunity to influence people around you in a positive manner. Always be positive about everything you do. Well, I could sit up here and give more and more leadership principles and ask my buddies. I could probably be up here all night, but my hand's still really, really cold. So I'm only doing a few more things. I'm like being close towards the thank yous now, so that's towards the end. Really, I want to thank the outfit, because the outfit is what made me who I am this past year. The outfit developed me. Yes, I was the top leader, the commanding officer, but I was developed by all you freshmen, sophomores, juniors, senior buddies. Y'all were the ones that developed me, and I forever have y'all to thank for that. For juniors, y'all are going to do awesome next year. It really is. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to wear those boots. It's a great privilege, and people on campus look up to you. Never ever forget that. As for my buddies, we've had one heck of a time. It's been a blast. I'm not even going to try to sum up any sort of thank you to you guys up here. I'd like to thank my family and everything they've done for me, because it's the way my parents raised me that allowed me to say them, allowed me these opportunities. But they weren't my biggest supporters. No one here is my biggest supporter. Jesus Christ has been my biggest supporter my entire life. That's the last message that I can really leave you with. People ask me, well, how do you multitask? How do you handle these things? Well, sometimes I tell them I get lucky sometimes, or other times I'll have good buddies. But what it is that my faith in God has given me the patience to do these things. And without God, without that faith, nothing I could have done in the Corps would have been possible. So that's the very last thing I'll leave you with. If you don't have a relationship with God, I suggest you seek Him out, because He'll be the one to make a difference in your life. Thanks, and